Hello, I'm Conor Meade, and we're here today at the 2015 Canadian Science Policy Conference with Miles Berry, who's the Principal Lecturer for Computing Education at the University of Roehampton, with a focus on teaching and learning strategies in computing education. So, Miles, thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here, it really is.
It's a pleasure to have you. To get us started off, can you tell us a little bit about your work?
Absolutely. Well, my day job is training the next generation of outstanding teachers at the University of Roehampton. So I'm working with undergraduates, postgraduate students who've chosen to become primary school teachers. But Roehampton let me out to go and do other interesting things. So I'm on the board of an organisation called Computing at School and another organisation called NACE, and was part of the team that drafted England's new computing curriculum. I've also been involved in a lot of the implementation projects since, and get to come and talk about what we've been doing at events such as this, which is a great pleasure.
Yeah, it's been an exciting conference so far, and it's continuing. So, in terms of computing education and developing strategies to help young people learn digital literacy and STEM skills, why is that such an important thing for us to be working on now?
Okay, I think digital technology already plays such an important part in all of our lives that it's important that young people, yes, be sure how to use that and use that efficiently, effectively, confidently, safely and responsibly. But as part of their education, they also ought to have an understanding of what's happening behind the screen, at least some idea of the principles that underpin the technology which they're using on a day-to-day basis. And we call those the fundamental ideas of computer science. So what we've done with the English computing curriculum is move on from a curriculum which was very much focused on digital literacy skills, of being able to get useful stuff done with a computer, to one which includes that, but also adds on a significant element of computer science. So we have young children from the age of 5 up learning to program computers, learning about ideas such as algorithms and abstraction, and further up the school learning about Boolean logic and binary arithmetic and ideas such as that. We think this is an important part of a rounded education in terms of digital technology, that it's not only the things which children and young people will find useful, but also things which we hope they'll find very interesting about this area of the world.
Interesting, absolutely. So I wonder if you could tell us, what do you think is the future of computer science education? Is it classroom focused? Is it software focused? Is it a combination of the two?
Okay, I think if we broaden the conversation out to education more generally, I think we're already at the point where the nature of education has fundamentally shifted. That if you look at how young people go about learning things now, it's no longer school which is the only locus of learning, of where they go to learn something. Look at a young person learning to play Minecraft or learning about a topic which they're interested in. Where will they go? They'll go to search engines, they'll look at YouTube videos about this, and they can teach themselves these things. We're at the point now where if you're sufficiently literate, motivated, and connected, you can teach yourself pretty much anything. So the nature of schooling perhaps hasn't changed quite so dramatically as the nature of education. Is that a problem? I don't think so. I think there is still a place for bringing young people together into the company of the expert, of the teacher, and working together collaboratively on tasks of learning from somebody who does have some expertise, some wisdom in that domain. My 3 things there: the literate, the connected, and the motivated. It's very hard to stay motivated if you're just teaching yourselves things on screen. It's very hard to broaden the horizons to include things which previously you might not have been interested in. I think there's a significant role for teachers, for schools, in broadening those horizons, in providing that motivation to go and learn something new, to learn something interesting. And that applies in computer science education just as it does in other domains. There's some brilliant resources out there. The young person who's interested in programming, interested in computer science education, can teach themselves lots and lots of things. But our agenda isn't really about just those who are interested. It's a recognition that this should be an entitlement for every young person.
Absolutely, yeah. So since we're talking about digital literacy and about how to get young people involved in developing those skills, I wonder if you could tell us a bit about the story of your early life and how you became interested in computer science.
Oh my goodness. Right, well, from a very early age, I think I was interested in this. I remember at the age of, it would be about 6, the Ladybird book of how the computer works, and saying, and in my sort of first grade it would be, what do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, I want to be a computer programmer. Didn't quite make it to that. And my father, I suppose, was something of a geek and would bring home slide rules and log tables and very early digital calculators, and I got interested in computing devices, I suppose, through his influence. But I suppose the significant moment would be in secondary education, where our maths teacher brought in his home computer and taught a group of us how to program in BASIC. I think my interest was really kindled by that, and I think there's a message there that yes, home background can be a very positive influence in whether a young person goes on to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, STEM, but it's also the influence of teachers in that. And if we're looking at something which is broad and inclusive, then this should be happening in schools, where it doesn't matter what your home background is. Everybody should have the opportunity to be inspired to pursue careers, to pursue interests in this domain.
Absolutely, yeah. So, as a penultimate question, what is your advice to policymakers in terms of actions that we can take to support digital literacy and to encourage young people to get involved in computer science on a mass democratic scale?
Okay, I think, thinking of what happened in England, the key message from our experience is around inclusion and making sure that we had a broad group of stakeholders influencing policy coming together around these ideas of computing education, of digital literacy in schools. It wasn't just the educationalists or just the tech industry. We had the academic computer scientists, we had the tech industry there, we had teachers, we had educationalists, all working together with a sense of a shared agenda that this was something worth doing. Not just for those who would become computer scientists or software engineers later, but because some understanding of computing, some understanding of programming is so useful and so effective if it comes to pursuing careers in any STEM discipline or pursuing any STEM discipline at academic level, and not just STEM. This is relevant to the arts, to the humanities, to the social sciences as well. The other thing, I suppose, is that there's so much that can be done through extracurricular, co-curricular activities, after-school clubs. But if we're serious about making this inclusive and entitlement for everybody, then curriculum time is probably the best place to put this sort of thing.
Okay, interesting. So before we wrap up, I want to ask, for the benefit of everyone watching this video, where is the best place we can go online to learn more about your work?
Okay, the best place to find out about what we're doing about computing education in England is the Computing at School website. And if you Google for that, that will take you straight there. I also have a blog which I keep intermittently at milesberry.net.
Milesberry.net, excellent. All right, well, Miles, thank you so much for joining us.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope you enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you very much.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.